Admiral Connor Blake stood in the command center, staring at the screen before him. The message had arrived 30 minutes ago, and he had read it 5 times already. Each time the words remained the same. Each time they felt more real. The Zalthurian Confederation had just declared war on humanity. Connor was 62 years old. He had served in the Earth Defense Forces for 40 years. He had seen conflicts between colonies, disputes over resources, and political tensions that nearly tore humanity apart. But this was different. This was something no human had faced before. "Sir, Ambassador Walsh is asking to speak with you," said Lieutenant Gary Mills from his station. Connor nodded. "Put her through." The screen changed and Kendra Walsh appeared. She looked tired. Her dark hair was pulled back tight, and her eyes showed the strain of the past few hours. She sat in her office at the Diplomatic Corps building in Geneva. "They rejected everything, Connor," she said without greeting. "Every offer, every compromise. They want complete surrender." "Tell me exactly what they said." Kendra pulled up a document on her screen. "The Zalthurians claim they have been watching us for 6,000 years. They say we were supposed to stay in our own solar system. They call it the Observation Protocol. We broke it when we colonized beyond Sol. Now they say we are too dangerous to exist." Connor felt his jaw tighten. 6,000 years? Dr. Murphy confirmed it. He found evidence on Mars 3 years ago. Ancient structures buried under the polar ice. The Zalthurians left monitoring stations all over our system. They have been watching us since we were building pyramids on Earth. How many species are with them? 47 alien races have signed the declaration. The Galactic Assembly voted unanimously. They are giving us 30 Earth days to surrender all faster-than-light technology and retreat to Earth. If we refuse, they will destroy every human colony in space. Connor walked to the window. Below him, the city of Geneva spread out in the morning light. Millions of people going about their lives, not knowing that alien civilizations had just sentenced humanity to extinction. "What did you tell them?" he asked. Kendra smiled, and Connor saw fire in her eyes. "I told them humans do not surrender. I told them we will defend our right to exist. I told them to come and try." "Good. Connor, their fleet is massive. Intelligence reports say they can field thousands of warships. We have 300 ships in the entire defense force. Even if we mobilize every civilian vessel, we cannot match their numbers." "Numbers are not everything." "You sound confident." Connor turned back to the screen. "Call a meeting. All department heads, Security Council, Military Command. Tell them to be at Defense Headquarters in 3 hours. What are you planning?" "You will see. But Kendra, when you address the Galactic Assembly again, I want you to deliver a message for me." "What message?" "Tell them that humanity has a saying. Do not mistake silence for weakness. They think they know us because they watched us for 6,000 years. They have no idea what we have become." The call ended, and Connor returned to studying the tactical displays. His aide, Captain Lisa Grant, entered the room. She was young, only 31, but she had proven herself in every simulation and training exercise. Her blonde hair was cut short, military standard, and her green eyes were sharp. "Sir, the fleet commanders are asking for orders. Do we mobilize?" "Not yet. We wait." "Wait?" "Sir, the colonies are panicking. Mars is demanding protection. The asteroid stations are preparing to evacuate." "Let them prepare, but tell the fleet commanders to stand ready. We will need them soon." Lisa hesitated. "Sir, if I may ask, what do we have that can stand against 47 alien civilizations?" Connor smiled. "Everything they do not expect." 3 hours later, the conference room filled with people. Kendra arrived from Geneva. Senator Paul Hendricks represented the civilian government. General Henry Ross commanded the Covert Operations Division. Dr. Greg Murphy brought his research on the alien artifacts. and Dr. Ashley Carter came from a location that was still classified. Connor stood at the head of the table. Thank you all for coming. I know you have questions. Before we begin, I need to tell you something that only a few people in this room know. Humanity has been preparing for this day for 80 years. The room erupted in surprise. Senator Hendricks stood up. What are you talking about? 80 years ago, we barely had colonies on Mars. Sit down, Senator, and I will explain. Connor activated the main display. In 2145, Dr. Vincent Lee detected unusual energy signatures in the Kuiper Belt. He investigated and found alien monitoring satellites. We realized then that we were being watched. We also realized that whoever was watching us had technology far beyond ours. We had a choice. We could reveal ourselves and hope for peaceful contact, or we could prepare for the worst. Dr. Murphy nodded. We chose to prepare. Exactly. We created a classified project called Horizon Protocol. Dr. Carter has been leading it for the past 20 years. Ashley, show them what we have built. Ashley Carter stood and activated her own display. Images appeared showing massive structures floating in deep space. Shipyards that dwarfed anything near Earth. Vessels of designs that looked nothing like standard human ships. Weapons platforms hidden in the Oort cloud. My God, whispered Senator Hendricks. We have been building in secret for decades, Ashley explained. While we let the aliens see our standard technology, we develop systems they cannot imagine. We have ships that use quantum entanglement for faster-than-light travel, making their drives look primitive. We have weapons that can disable enemy vessels without destroying them. We have shields based on dimensional folding that their weapons cannot penetrate. General Ross added. We also have 3,000 warships hidden throughout the solar system and beyond, trained crews, advanced AI systems, everything we need to defend humanity. Kendra leaned forward. Why was this kept secret from the government? Connor answered, because we could not risk the aliens discovering what we were doing. If even one person talked, if one transmission was intercepted, the entire plan would fail. We needed them to underestimate us. We needed them to think we were weak. And now? Asked Senator Hendricks. Now they have declared war. Now we show them the truth. Connor looked around the table. The Zalthurians think they will crush us easily. They think we are primitive. They think 30 days is generous. We are going to use that time to position our forces and prepare our response. Lisa Grant spoke up. What if they attack before the deadline? They won't. They are too confident. They want us to surrender without a fight. When we refuse, they will come with overwhelming force to make an example of us. That is when we spring the trap. Kendra smiled. You want to break them in one battle. I want to break their will to fight. I want every species in that galactic assembly to see what happens when you threaten humanity. I want them to understand that we are not prey. We are not victims. We are not going to hide. Dr. Murphy pulled up star charts. The ancient records I found on Mars tell us something interesting. The Zalthurians have crushed 23 civilizations in the past 10,000 years. They always follow the same pattern. Observe. Declare the species dangerous. Attack when they expand beyond their homeworld. Every time the younger race surrenders or is destroyed. We are going to break that pattern, Connor said. The meeting continued for hours. Plans were made. Forces were positioned. Messages were sent to colony worlds in secret. By the time everyone left, humanity was ready to fight a war that would reshape the galaxy. Connor stood alone in the command center as night fell. He thought about his daughter on Mars. He thought about the millions of humans living on stations and colonies across dozens of star systems. He thought about the future. The deadline would expire in 29 days. The aliens would come expecting. Captain Lisa Grant had never been to the Oort cloud before. The journey took 3 days even with the fastest transport available. She sat in the passenger compartment of a military shuttle, watching the stars drift past, thinking about everything Admiral Blake had revealed. 6,000 years. Humanity had been watched for 6,000 years. The pilot announced they were approaching their destination. Lisa looked out the viewport and saw nothing but empty space. Then the shuttle sent an encrypted signal, and suddenly the darkness changed. Lights appeared. Hundreds of them. Thousands. They outlined structures so massive that Lisa's mind struggled to understand the scale. Shipyards stretched across millions of kilometers. Docking platforms held vessels of designs she had never seen. Defense stations bristled with weapons. And everywhere people worked in the silence of space, building humanity's secret arsenal. "Welcome to Sanctuary Station," said the pilot. "Please keep your harness on until we dock." The shuttle slid through a magnetic field that shimmered like water and entered a massive hangar. Lisa saw rows of fighters, sleek and deadly, unlike anything in the regular fleet. Technicians moved between them, making final adjustments. Everything looked ready for war. A woman waited at the airlock when Lisa disembarked. She was tall, with red hair tied back, and wore a flight suit with commander's insignia. "Captain Grant? I'm Commander Jake Peterson. Dr. Carter asked me to give you the tour." They shook hands. Jake's grip was firm and confident. "How long have you been out here?" Lisa asked. 15 years. I was recruited right out of the academy. They told me I was joining a long-term deep space assignment. They were not lying." Jake led her through corridors that hummed with energy. They passed laboratories where scientists worked on projects that looked like something from fiction. They saw training centers where soldiers practiced combat techniques designed for alien opponents. They entered a control room where officers monitored displays showing ship positions across the entire solar system. "We have 3,000 vessels," Jake explained. "Each one uses technology the aliens have never encountered. Our quantum drives let us appear in multiple locations simultaneously. Our dimensional shields can absorb energy and redirect it. Our weapons can disable enemy ships without killing their crews." "Why build weapons that do not kill?" Jake smiled. "Because Admiral Blake understands something important. This war is not about revenge. It is about changing how the galaxy sees us. If we slaughter our enemies, we become the monsters they think we are. If we defeat them with minimal casualties, we show them we are better than that." They entered a large observation deck. Through the transparent wall, Lisa saw a ship unlike anything she had imagined. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Smooth curves that seemed to flow like liquid metal. Engines that glowed with blue light. Weapon ports that looked almost organic in their design. "That is the Defiant," Jake said with pride in his voice. "My ship, the first of the Horizon-class dreadnoughts. We have 50 of them now. It's incredible. Want to see the inside?" 20 minutes later, Lisa stood on the bridge of the Defiant. The command center was circular, with stations arranged around a central platform. Holographic displays floated in the air, showing data streams and tactical information. The crew worked with quiet efficiency, each person focused on their task. "Our AI systems are generations beyond standard models," explained Lieutenant Nicole Stevens, the chief engineer. She was young, maybe 25, with dark skin and intelligent eyes. "We can process battlefield data faster than any alien computer. We can predict enemy movements and counter them before they happen." Lisa walked to one of the displays. It showed the positions of alien fleets across known space. The Zalthurian Armada was gathering near their homeworld, preparing for the attack on Earth. "How do we know where they are?" she asked. Nicole grinned. "We have been spying on them for decades. Microprobes scattered throughout their territory. They think their communications are secure. They are wrong." Dr. Ashley Carter entered the bridge. She looked different here than she had in the meeting on Earth. More relaxed, more confident. This was her domain. Captain Grant, I hope Commander Peterson and Lieutenant Stevens have been helpful. Very helpful. This is all amazing, but I have a question. Go ahead. Why are you showing me this? I am just a squadron leader. There are admirals who do not know about this place. Ashley gestured for Lisa to follow her to a private office off the bridge. They sat down and Ashley poured 2 cups of coffee. We are showing you, because Admiral Blake thinks you are going to play a crucial role in the coming war. He wants you to understand what we have, what we can do, and what we are fighting for. I'm honored, but I do not understand. The first battle will happen in 3 weeks. The aliens will come to the Sol system expecting to crush us easily. We are going to let them think they are winning. Your squadron will be the bait. Lisa felt her heart race. Bait? You will fly standard fighters. You will engage the enemy near Jupiter. You will make it look like a desperate defense, and then you will retreat, drawing them into the asteroid belt, where we will be waiting. And if something goes wrong? Ashley met her eyes. Then you and your pilots will be the first casualties of a war that will determine humanity's future. But I do not think anything will go wrong. You are one of the best pilots we have. That is why you were chosen. Lisa thought about it. The danger, the responsibility, the chance to be part of something historic. I'll do it. Good. Now let me show you something else. They left the Defiant and took a transport to another section of Sanctuary Station. This area was even more heavily guarded. Security checkpoints every 100 meters, biometric scanners, armed soldiers at every door. They entered a laboratory that looked like the inside of a star. Energy fields contained what looked like tears in space itself. Scientists worked at consoles, manipulating forces that Lisa could not name. This is Project Starforge, Ashley said quietly. Our greatest achievement and our greatest secret. What does it do? It creates artificial wormholes, instant travel between any 2 points in space. We have been building a network of gates across human territory. When the war begins, we can move our entire fleet anywhere we need them in seconds. Lisa stared at the glowing portal. The aliens have nothing like this. They use standard FTL drives, fast but limited. This technology would change everything for them. Which is why, after we win the war, we are going to share it. Share it? Why? Ashley turned to her. Because that is the point. The aliens think we are dangerous. They think we will conquer and destroy. We are going to prove them wrong. We are going to show them that humanity wants to build, not destroy. We are going to offer them partnership instead of domination. Do you think they will accept? Not all of them. The Zalthurians are too proud. Their allies are too invested in their power structure. But there are other species in the galaxy, younger civilizations that are also being watched, oppressed races that want freedom. If we show them a better way, they will join us. They returned to the observation deck. Lisa looked out at the secret fleet, the hidden stations, the weapons and ships that represented decades of work and sacrifice. How many people know about this? She asked. About 5,000 are stationed here permanently. Another 20,000 work on similar projects throughout the system. Support staff, suppliers, families. We have built a whole society out here in secret. And no one talked. No one leaked the information, because everyone here understands what is at stake. We are not just building weapons. We are building humanity's future. Every person here believes in that future. Lisa felt something shift inside her. She had always served with pride, but this was different. This was larger than any battle, larger than any single conflict. This was about proving that humanity deserved its place among the stars. When do I start training? She asked. Jake Peterson appeared beside them. Right now, if you are ready. We have simulators that can replicate Zalthurian tactics. You will fly against their best strategies, learn their weaknesses, and be ready when the real battle comes. Lisa nodded. Then let's get started. Over the next week, Lisa trained harder than she ever had in her life. She flew simulations against alien fighters. She practiced retreat patterns that looked panicked, but were actually carefully planned. She learned to trust the quantum communications that would link her to the hidden fleet. She met the other pilots who would fly with her, and together they became a unit. On the 8th day, Ambassador Kendra Walsh sent humanity's official response to the Zalthurian ultimatum. The message was simple and clear. Humanity would not surrender. Humanity would not retreat. Humanity would defend its freedom with every resource available. The aliens responded by accelerating their timeline. Instead of 30 days, they gave humanity 10. Connor Blake called Lisa to a private meeting in his office on Sanctuary Station. "They are coming early," he said. "Intelligence shows their fleet will arrive near Jupiter in 5 days. We will be ready." "I know you will. But Lisa, I need you to understand something. When this battle is over, nothing will be the same. The galaxy will know about us. They will know what we can do. There will be no more hiding." "Is that what you want?" Connor looked out at the stars. "I want humanity to survive. I want us to have a future. If that means revealing our strength, then yes, that is what I want. But strength without wisdom is just brutality. We have to win this war and win the peace that follows." The Zalthurian fleet hung in space like a metal storm. 1,200 ships arranged in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming under Jupiter's distant light. On the flagship, Supreme Commander Zalthar studied the tactical displays with satisfaction. The humans had deployed their pathetic defense force. 300 vessels, outdated designs, positioned near the gas giant's largest moons. It was almost sad. These primitives actually thought they could resist. "Send the final demand," Zalthar ordered. His voice carried the weight of authority earned through 100 victories. "Give them one last chance to surrender." On Earth, Admiral Connor Blake received the message in his command center. The alien commander's face appeared on screen, reptilian features arranged in what might have been contempt. "Humans, you have seen our fleet. You know you cannot win. Surrender now and we will spare your homeworld. Resist, and we will erase you from the galaxy." Connor looked at the alien without fear. "We have already given you our answer. If you want our worlds, come and take them." Zalthar's eyes narrowed. "So be it. You have chosen extinction." The transmission ended. Connor turned to his staff. "All units, execute Protocol Red Dawn. Captain Grant, you are go for launch." Far above Earth, in orbit among the standard defense platforms, Lisa Grant sat in her fighter cockpit. Her squadron of 20 ships powered up their engines. They looked like standard Earth fighters because that was exactly what they were. Old models, reliable but not advanced. Perfect for the first part of the plan. "All right, people, remember your training," Lisa said over the squadron channel. "We engage, we fight, we retreat. Make it look real. Make them believe." "Copy that, Captain," replied Lieutenant Danny Wright, her wingman. "Let's give them a show." The squadron accelerated toward Jupiter, moving to intercept the alien fleet. Behind them, the rest of Earth's defense force followed, arranging themselves in what looked like a desperate attempt to protect the outer colonies. Zalthar watched the humans approach. "They are either brave or foolish, probably both. All ships prepare to engage. Target their command vessels first. Break their leadership and they will scatter." The distance closed. 5 million kilometers. 3 million. 1 million. "Fire!" Zalthar commanded. The alien fleet opened up with everything they had. Energy beams crossed the void. Missiles streaked through space. The humans returned fire, their weapons bright but weak compared to the Zalthurian arsenal. Lisa jinked her fighter left as a plasma bolt tore through where she had been seconds before. The aliens were good, she had to admit. Their targeting was precise. Their coordination was flawless. They had done this many times before. Red 3 is hit, someone called over the channel. I'm venting atmosphere. Red 3, pull back, Lisa ordered. Red 7, cover his retreat. The battle raged for 20 minutes. Human ships took damage. Some were destroyed. The survivors fought with desperate courage, but everyone watching could see they were outmatched. The Zalthurians pressed forward, confident in their superiority. Then Lisa gave the order everyone was waiting for. All squadrons fall back. Repeat, fall back to defensive position Echo. The human fleet turned and ran. They accelerated away from Jupiter, heading toward the asteroid belt, their formation breaking up as if in panic. Behind them, the alien fleet pursued. Zalthar allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. They flee as expected. All ships maintain pursuit. Do not let them regroup. Dr. Greg Murphy sat in the command center on Earth, watching the battle unfold. He had spent 3 years studying the aliens, learning their psychology, understanding how they thought. They were predators. They saw retreat as weakness. They would chase their prey because that was what they always did. Admiral, the enemy fleet is entering the belt, reported an officer. Connor nodded. Activate Phase 2. In the asteroid belt, hidden among millions of rocks and debris, systems came online that had been waiting for decades. Power signatures that had been carefully masked now blazed to life. Weapons platforms emerged from camouflage. Mining stations revealed their true purpose as military installations. And the Horizon fleet decloaked. Zalthar saw his tactical display suddenly fill with new contacts and felt his blood turn cold. The human fleet had not been running in panic. They had been leading him into a trap. 3,000 human ships appeared from nowhere, surrounding the Zalthurian fleet on all sides. But these were not the primitive vessels he had been fighting. These ships looked like they came from a civilization centuries more advanced than anything in the Galactic Assembly. Impossible, Zalthar whispered. Where did they come from? Commander Jake Peterson stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching the alien fleet realize their mistake. He felt no joy in it, only a grim satisfaction that the plan was working. All ships, weapons free. Disable, do not destroy. I repeat, disable only. The Horizon fleet opened fire, but their weapons were nothing like the aliens expected. Instead of explosive missiles or burning energy beams, they fired focused electromagnetic pulses that shut down ship systems without killing the crews. They used graviton emitters that locked vessels in place, unable to move or fire. They deployed nanite clouds that ate through shields but left hulls intact. An alien cruiser tried to return fire, its weapons charged, targeting locks engaged. Then the Defiant appeared directly in front of it, having used its quantum drive to teleport across space. The cruiser's sensors showed the Defiant in 5 different locations simultaneously, all of them real, all of them there. The cruiser's weapons fired at all 5 targets. Every shot missed. The Defiant fired once, and the cruiser went dark. Its systems shut down, its crew alive but helpless. This scene repeated across the battlefield. Alien ships found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Human vessels appeared and disappeared faster than targeting computers could track. Shields that should have protected alien hulls failed against weapons that worked on entirely different principles. Lieutenant Nicole Stevens coordinated the shield network from her station on the Defiant. She watched the tactical data flow past, making adjustments, redistributing power, ensuring no Allied ship took critical damage. Commander, alien flagship is attempting to break through the perimeter, she reported. I see it. Take us in. The Defiant moved with grace that should have been impossible for something so large. It positioned itself between the fleeing flagship and open space. Jake opened a communication channel directly to the alien commander. Zalthar stared at the human face on his screen. The human was young, confident, and completely unafraid. Supreme Commander, I am giving you one chance to surrender. Power down your weapons, and we will ensure the safety of your crews." "You dare," Zalthar snarled. "We are the Zalthurian Confederation. We have ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. We do not surrender to primitives who only left their world yesterday." Jake's expression did not change. "You ruled through fear and superior technology, but you do not have superior technology anymore. And we are not afraid. Last chance, Commander. Surrender or be disabled." Zalthar cut the transmission and ordered his ship to fire everything at the Defiant. Every weapon, every missile, every ounce of destructive power the flagship could generate. The barrage hit the Defiant's dimensional shields and simply vanished. The energy was absorbed, redirected into another dimension, and dispersed harmlessly. The ship did not even shake. Jake sighed. "Disable them." The Defiant fired a single pulse. The alien flagship went dark. Across the battlefield, the Zalthurian fleet was falling apart. Captains who saw their commander's ship disabled began surrendering on their own. Others tried to flee, only to find human ships blocking every route out of the belt. Within an hour, it was over. 300 alien vessels were disabled and captured intact. Another 500 had surrendered. The remaining 400 were trying to regroup, but they were surrounded and outnumbered. Connor Blake stood in the command center, watching the battle end. It had gone almost exactly as planned. Minimal casualties on both sides. The aliens defeated, but not slaughtered. A clear demonstration of human capability. "Send a message to the Zalthurian Assembly," he ordered. "Tell them we are holding their fleet and crews safely. Tell them we want to negotiate. Tell them the war can end right now if they choose peace." Kendra Walsh prepared the message from her office in Geneva. But before she could send it, new contacts appeared on the sensors. More alien ships were entering the system. Not Zalthurian this time. These were from species Kendra recognized from the intelligence reports. The Viridian Alliance had arrived. 12 ships, small but well-armed, positioning themselves between the human fleet and the disabled Zalthurians. A transmission came through. The face on the screen was humanoid, but with silver skin and large violet eyes. "Human vessels, this is Ambassador Talia of the Viridian Alliance. We request immediate communication with your leadership." Kendra took the call. "I am Ambassador Walsh. Why are you here?" Talia's expression was hard to read, but her voice carried emotion that the translator rendered as respect. "We came to observe what we thought would be humanity's destruction. Instead, we watched you defeat a fleet 4 times your size without killing thousands of beings. We need to talk about what happens next." "What do you mean?" "The galaxy just watched you win a battle that should have been impossible. Every species in the Assembly is asking the same question now. If humanity is this powerful, why did you hide? What else are you hiding? And most importantly, what do you want?" Kendra glanced at Connor, who nodded. "We want exactly what we have always wanted," Kendra said. "To live free, to explore, to build a future. We do not want to conquer. We do not want to dominate. But we will not be threatened. We will not be told where we can or cannot go. We will not surrender our freedom." Talia was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "There are many species who feel the same way. Species the Zalthurians have bullied for centuries. Species who are tired of being told they are too young, too dangerous, too different. If you truly mean what you say, Ambassador Walsh, you could change everything." "We mean it." "Then we should talk, because the Zalthurians will not accept this defeat. They will come back with everything they have. And when they do, you will need allies." The transmission ended. Connor and Kendra looked at each other. "It is starting," Connor said. "The galaxy is waking up." 3 weeks after the battle in the asteroid belt, Ambassador Kendra Walsh stood before representatives of 20 alien species. They met on Callisto, Jupiter's second-largest moon, in a conference facility that humans had built specifically for this moment. The room was designed to accommodate different atmospheres, gravities, and communication methods. It represented everything humanity wanted to achieve with the galaxy. Ambassador Talia sat to Kendra's right, her silver skin catching the light. Around the circular table sat beings that looked like birds, beings covered in scales, beings that communicated through color changes on their skin. Every one of them had left the Zalthurian coalition after watching humanity win the first battle. "Thank you all for coming," Kendra began. "I know this took courage. The Zalthurians will not forgive your departure from the assembly." A representative from the Karathi species spoke, his voice translated through the universal system. "They already threatened us with economic sanctions, but we are tired of being afraid. We watched your fleet disable their ships without killing their crews. That took more strength than simple destruction. We want to understand what humanity truly wants." Kendra activated a holographic display in the center of the table. It showed the Starforge network that Dr. Ashley Carter had revealed weeks ago. "We want to share this technology with you. Free instant travel between star systems. No fees, no restrictions, no control by any single species. We will help you build gates in your territories, connect your worlds, and open the galaxy to trade and communication that the Zalthurians have monopolized for millennia." The room erupted in shocked conversation. Talia leaned forward, her violet eyes intense. "You would just give this to us? What do you want in return?" "Recognition of human sovereignty, the right to exist without threat, and partnership in building a galaxy where no species can dominate others through force or fear," a Viridian counselor spoke up. "The Zalthurians will never accept this. They will see it as a direct threat to their power." "They already see us as a threat," Kendra replied. "The question is whether you want to be part of a new future or remain trapped in the old system." Over the next week, negotiations continued. Dr. Greg Murphy worked with alien historians, sharing the evidence he had found on Mars. The ancient records showed that the Zalthurians had suppressed dozens of civilizations over thousands of years, always using the same excuse. The young species was too dangerous, too aggressive, too likely to disturb galactic peace. "It was never about protecting the galaxy," Greg explained to a group of alien researchers. "It was about maintaining control. They watched humanity for 6,000 years, not to ensure our safety, but to ensure we never became strong enough to challenge them." Meanwhile, in the medical facilities on Callisto, something else was happening that would change minds across the galaxy. The Zalthurian prisoners were receiving treatment for injuries sustained in the battle. Human doctors worked alongside alien medics, sharing techniques and technology. Commander Kretha, one of the captured Zalthurian officers, watched a human surgeon repair damage to his second heart using methods far more advanced than anything in Zalthurian medicine. The surgeon, Dr. Rachel Moore, worked with calm efficiency. "Why are you helping us?" Kretha asked. "We came to destroy you." Rachel looked up from her work. "Because you are a living being who needs help. That is reason enough. But we are enemies. You are following orders from leaders who lied to you about what humanity is. That does not mean you deserve to suffer." Kretha thought about this. He had been told humans were savage, brutal, interested only in conquest. Yet here was a human doctor saving his life with technology his own people did not possess, asking for nothing in return. News of humanity's treatment of prisoners spread quickly through the galactic networks. Videos showed Zalthurian crews being fed, given comfortable quarters, allowed to communicate with their families. It was not what anyone expected from a species that had just won a major battle. But while diplomacy progressed, military preparations continued. Admiral Connor Blake knew the Zalthurians would not accept defeat. Intelligence reports confirmed his fears. General Henry Ross entered Connor's office with a data pad. His face was grim. The Zalthurians are assembling their full battle fleet, 5,000 warships. They are calling in every alliance they still have. 8 species remain committed to destroying us. Connor studied the numbers. When will they be ready to attack? 2 weeks, maybe less. They are not being subtle about it. They want everyone to see them gathering their forces. They want to intimidate the species that left their coalition. And our fleet? Ready. We can field 3,000 vessels, all equipped with Horizon technology. We have the advantage in quality, but they have the advantage in numbers. Connor stood and walked to the window. Below, construction crews worked on expanding the Callisto facility. Humans and aliens working side by side, building something new. Henry, do you ever wonder if we made the right choice? Hiding for 80 years? Preparing for war instead of trying to make peace? Every day. But I also know what the historical records show. Every species that revealed themselves openly to the Zalthurians was conquered or destroyed. We needed to be strong enough to defend ourselves before we could ask for peace. And now we are strong enough. The question is whether we are wise enough to use that strength correctly. Captain Lisa Grant was back at Sanctuary Station, training new pilots on the advanced fighters. Word had spread quickly through the military about what happened in the asteroid belt. Now everyone wanted to be part of the Horizon fleet. Jake Peterson found her in the simulator bay, watching a group of rookies practice quantum drive maneuvers. "How are they doing?" he asked. "Better than I did at first, but they are scared. They know the big battle is coming." "We are all scared. Anyone who is not scared is either lying or foolish." Lisa turned to him. "Do you think we can win?" "I think we can survive. I think we can show the galaxy that humanity will not be pushed around. Whether that counts as winning depends on what happens after." They walked together to the observation deck. Through the transparent walls, they could see the fleet assembling. 3,000 ships, each one a miracle of engineering and determination. Behind them, hidden in strategic positions throughout the solar system, were the Starforge gates, ready to transport reinforcements instantly to wherever they were needed. "Nicole told me something interesting yesterday," Jake said. "She has been working with a Viridian engineer named Sella. They were comparing shield technologies, trying to combine human and alien designs. And they created something neither species could have made alone, a hybrid shield that is stronger than either original version. Nicole says if we survive this war, the real breakthroughs will come from cooperation, not competition." Lisa smiled. "I hope we get the chance to find out." On Earth, Senator Paul Hendricks addressed the Planetary Council. The civilian government was finally being briefed on everything that had been hidden from them for decades. The reaction was mixed. Some felt betrayed. Others understood the necessity. All of them recognized that the world had changed forever. "The question before us," Paul said, "is not whether we should have been told earlier. That debate is over. The question is what we do now. Do we support the military in this fight? Do we commit our resources to defending not just Earth, but the new alliances we are building? Do we choose to be part of a new galactic order?" The vote was not even close. Every representative voted to support the war effort and the diplomatic initiatives. Humanity, for perhaps the first time in its history, was completely united. Dr. Ashley Carter worked day and night in the Starforge laboratories. The network was complete, but she kept finding ways to improve it, ways to make it faster, more efficient, more resilient. She knew the final battle would test everything they had built. Lieutenant Nicole Stevens came to find her late one night. "Ashley, you need to rest. You have been working for 36 hours straight." "I will rest after we win." "You will be useless if you collapse from exhaustion." Ashley sighed and put down her tools. "I keep thinking about all the things that could go wrong. What if the Starforge network fails under combat stress?" What if the Zalthurians have weapons we have not anticipated? What if we lose? Nicole sat beside her. Then we lose. But we lose fighting for something important. We lose trying to build something better than what existed before. That counts for something. Does it? It does to me. It does to every person on this station who chose to spend years of their life building a secret fleet because they believed in humanity's future. It does to the Viridians and the Karathi and all the other species who risked everything to support us. We already changed the galaxy, Ashley. Now we just have to survive long enough to see what we built. The 2 weeks passed quickly. New allies joined the coalition every day. Some offered ships, others offered bases and supplies. A few species provided intelligence about Zalthurian tactics and technology. The coalition against humanity was crumbling, but the core remained. The Zalthurians and 7 species so committed to the old order that they would rather fight than change. On the morning the Zalthurian fleet began its final approach to Earth, Connor called a meeting of all senior commanders. They gathered in the command center, faces tense but determined. "The enemy fleet will arrive in 72 hours, Connor said. "They will come expecting to overwhelm us with numbers. They will come believing that superior force always wins. We are going to teach them a different lesson." He activated the tactical display, showing the positions of every ship in both fleets. "We will meet them near Earth's moon. We will not hide. We will not use tricks or deception. We will face them directly and show them that technology and tactics matter more than numbers. We will disable as many ships as possible. We will minimize casualties. And we will win decisively enough that no one ever questions humanity's right to exist again." Lisa raised her hand. "Admiral, what if they do not surrender even when defeated?" "Then we keep defeating them until they have no choice. But I believe they will surrender. Because we are going to show them something they have never seen before. An enemy powerful enough to destroy them, but merciful enough to let them live." Kendra spoke from her position at the diplomatic station. "I have contacted every species in the Galactic Assembly. They will all be watching this battle. What we do here will determine how the galaxy sees humanity for centuries to come." Connor nodded. "Then let us make sure they see us at our best. Not as conquerors, not as destroyers, but as defenders of freedom who are strong enough to protect themselves and wise enough to choose peace when victory is achieved." The meeting ended. Officers returned to their ships. Crews made final preparations. Across human space, millions of people waited and watched, knowing that the next few days would determine their future. Jake Peterson stood on the bridge of the Defiant, looking at the crew around him. Young faces, brave faces, people who had trained their whole lives for a moment they hoped would never come. "All stations report ready," Nicole announced. The Zalthurian armada emerged from FTL space near Earth's moon like a swarm of metal locusts. 5,000 warships arranged in attack formation, weapons charged, shields active. On every vessel, crews stood ready to deliver what their leaders promised would be humanity's destruction. Supreme Admiral Tharzek sat on his command throne, viewing the tactical displays with cold satisfaction. The human fleet was already there, waiting. 3,000 ships arranged in defensive positions around Earth and its moon. Strong, but not enough. "They are fools," Tharzek said to his officers. "They think their tricks will work twice. Send the final transmission." On Earth, Admiral Connor Blake received the message in the Global Command Center. Tharzek's face appeared on every screen, his reptilian features twisted in what might have been anger or contempt. "Humans, you defeated one of our fleets through deception. You will not deceive us again. We have come with the full might of the Zalthurian Confederation. Surrender immediately or watch your world burn." Connor looked back at the alien commander without fear. Around him, officers from a dozen human nations and 3 allied alien species worked at their stations. The command center had changed in the week since the first battle. It was no longer just a human facility. It was becoming something larger. Supreme Admiral Tharzek, I am Admiral Connor Blake of the Earth Defense Forces. On behalf of humanity and our allies, I reject your demand. But I will offer you one final chance. Stand down. Return to your territory. We will negotiate a lasting peace. There does not need to be more bloodshed. Tharzek laughed, a harsh sound that the translator could not soften. Peace? With primitives? With species who dare to challenge the natural order? No, Admiral. Today you learn what happens to those who forget their place. The transmission ended. Connor turned to his staff. All units, defensive positions, Starforge network to stand by. When they attack, we respond with everything we have. Captain Lisa Grant sat in her fighter cockpit, leading a squadron of 300 ships positioned near the moon's surface. This time, she flew one of the advanced Horizon fighters. No more pretending to be weak, no more holding back. Today, humanity would show its full strength. All fighters, remember your training, she said over the squadron channel. We protect the capital ships. We create opportunities. We disable, not destroy. Show them what human pilots can really do. Copy that, Captain, replied Danny Wright. Ready when you are. The Zalthurian fleet began its attack. 5,000 ships moving in perfect coordination, firing thousands of weapons simultaneously. The barrage was designed to overwhelm any defense, to crush resistance through sheer volume of firepower. The human fleet activated their dimensional shields. The alien weapons struck the shields and vanished. Energy beams, missiles, plasma bolts, all of it absorbed and redirected into other dimensions. The human ships did not even shake. On his flagship, Tharzek stared at his displays in disbelief. Impossible. Nothing can withstand that much firepower. Sir, their shields are operating on principles we do not understand, reported his science officer. Our weapons are ineffective. Then we close to combat range. Prepare boarding parties. If we cannot destroy them, we will take them. The alien fleet surged forward, attempting to close the distance. That was when the Horizon fleet revealed its true capability. Commander Jake Peterson gave the order from the bridge of the Defiant. All ships, quantum drive authorized. Engage at will. 3,000 human ships activated their quantum drives simultaneously. They appeared in multiple locations at once, surrounding individual alien vessels, creating a tactical nightmare for the Zalthurian commanders. Every human ship seemed to be in 5 places at the same time, all of them real, all of them firing. But the humans were not using destructive weapons. Lieutenant Nicole Stevens had spent weeks perfecting the electromagnetic pulse systems. They shut down alien ships without harming the crews. They disabled weapons and engines, but left life support intact. Target the command vessels first, Jake ordered. Break their coordination. The Defiant teleported directly above the Zalthurian flagship. Jake opened a communication channel. Supreme Admiral, your ship is surrounded. Power down your weapons. Tharzek snarled. Never. You may have better technology, but we have honor. We will fight to the last ship. That is not honor. That is pride, and it will get your people killed for nothing. Better death than submission to lesser species. Jake closed the channel with regret. Disable them! The Defiant fired a concentrated pulse. The Zalthurian flagship went dark, its systems shut down, its commander helpless. Across the battlefield, human ships executed the same maneuver over and over. Appear near an alien vessel, disable it, move to the next target. The quantum drive made traditional combat doctrine useless. How could you fight an enemy that could be anywhere and everywhere at once? Lisa led her fighter squadron against the alien fighter wings. The Zalthurian pilots were skilled, but they had never faced anything like human pilots enhanced with neural links and flying ships that responded to thought as much as control input. "Break by pairs, target their carriers," Lisa commanded. The human fighters split into coordinated teams, moving with precision that looked impossible. They danced between alien fire, their shields absorbing hits that would have destroyed standard fighters. They struck with surgical accuracy, disabling carrier landing bays, preventing the aliens from launching more fighters or recovering damaged ones. An alien pilot managed to get a lock on Lisa's ship and fired. The missile tracked her through a series of evasive maneuvers that should have shaken it. At the last second, Lisa activated her ship's micro-jump drive. She teleported 200 meters, and the missile flew harmlessly past. "Too slow," she muttered, then disabled the alien fighter with a pulse weapon. In the command center on Earth, Dr. Greg Murphy monitored the battle alongside Dr. Ashley Carter. They were not military people, but they understood what was happening better than most. "The Zalthurians are starting to retreat," Greg observed, "not in formation. Individual ships breaking and running." Ashley checked her displays. "The Starforge network is stable. We can pursue them anywhere they go." "Should we?" "That is not our decision. That is up to Connor." Connor watched the battle turn decisively in humanity's favor. In 1 hour of fighting, the human fleet had disabled over 2,000 alien ships. The rest were scattered, their formation broken, their will to fight crumbling. He opened a general communication channel that would reach every ship in the system, human and alien alike. "This is Admiral Connor Blake to all forces. Cease fire. I repeat, all human ships, cease fire." The human fleet stopped shooting immediately. Across the battlefield, disabled alien ships drifted in silence. The Zalthurian vessels that were still functional hesitated, uncertain what was happening. Connor broadcast again, this time specifically to the alien fleet. "Zalthurian forces, you have seen what we can do. We could destroy every one of your ships. But that is not what we want. We want peace. We want a galaxy where all species can exist without fear. Stand down. Let us end this war before more lives are lost." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then one Zalthurian ship powered down its weapons, then another, then 10, then 100. A transmission came from an alien vessel. The face on screen was young for a Zalthurian with bright scales and eyes that showed both fear and determination. "Human Admiral, I am Commander Krelzan of the cruiser Destiny's Edge. I am taking command of the 3rd Fleet Group. We surrender to your authority." "You have command? What happened to your superiors?" "They ordered us to fight to the death. I relieved them of command. I will not sacrifice my crew for pride. We surrender." Connor felt something release in his chest. "Commander Krelzan, you made the right choice. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Your crew will be treated well." Over the next hour, more Zalthurian ships surrendered. Some chose to flee instead, jumping to FTL and running back to their territory. Connor let them go. The point had been made. By the end of the day, humanity had captured or accepted the surrender of 3,500 alien vessels. Only 1,500 had escaped. Not a single ship had been completely destroyed. Casualties on both sides were minimal. 3 days later, Ambassador Kendra Walsh stood before the Galactic Assembly for the 2nd time. But this time, she did not come as a supplicant or a defendant. She came as the representative of a power that had just defeated the greatest military force in the known galaxy. The assembly chamber was nearly empty. Of the 47 species that had voted to destroy humanity, only 8 representatives remained. The others had sent messages of apology and requests to negotiate. The Zalthurian seat was empty. Their government had collapsed when news of the defeat reached their homeworld. "Members of the Assembly," Kendra began, "humanity did not seek this war. We wanted only to live free, to explore, to build our future. You tried to take that from us. You failed." She paused, letting the words settle. "But we are not here for revenge. We are here to build something better. The old order, where a few powerful species controlled the galaxy through fear and superior technology, is over. We are proposing a new galactic council, equal representation for all species, shared technology, open trade routes, freedom of movement and settlement. A galaxy where cooperation is rewarded more than domination." Ambassador Talia stood from the Viridian section. "The Viridian Alliance supports this proposal. We will work with humanity to build this new order." One by one, other ambassadors stood, species that had been neutral, species that had fought against humanity but now saw a better path, even a few former Zalthurian allies hoping to secure a place in the new galaxy. Senator Paul Hendricks, who had come to represent human civilian government, spoke next. "We are also prepared to share the Starforge technology, free instant travel for all species who agree to the peaceful principles of the new council. Within 5 years, we can connect every civilized world in the galaxy." The implications of that statement rippled through the assembly. The Zalthurians had maintained power partly through their control of trade routes. With instant travel available to everyone, that power would vanish. "There will be opposition," warned a representative from a small species called the Rixari. "Not everyone will welcome these changes." "We know," Kendra replied. "Change is never easy, but it is necessary. The galaxy cannot continue as it was. We offer partnership to those who want it. But we will also defend ourselves and our allies from those who try to maintain the old order through force." Over the following months, the galaxy transformed. The new Galactic Council formed with representatives from 86 species. The Starforge network expanded, connecting worlds that had been isolated for millennia. Trade flourished. Cultural exchange began. Species that had never met started working together on scientific projects. The Zalthurians withdrew to their own territory, a diminished empire trying to rebuild after losing their dominant position. Some of their subject species declared independence. Others chose to remain, but demanded equal treatment. A few, led by Commander Krell Zahn, actually joined the new council and began working with humanity on peaceful projects. Captain Lisa Grant accepted a position training the first unified galactic defense force. Pilots from 20 species learned to fly together, combining different strengths and perspectives. The program became a model for the kind of cooperation the new order represented. Commander Jake Peterson led exploration missions to find species that had been isolated by the old trade monopolies. He became famous across the galaxy as the human who brought connection and friendship to forgotten worlds. Dr. Ashley Carter continued to improve the Starforge technology, but now she worked with scientists from dozens of species. The breakthroughs they achieved together far exceeded anything humanity could have done alone. Lieutenant Nicole Stevens and her friend Sella, the Viridian engineer, became partners in a company that designed hybrid technologies combining the best of multiple civilizations. Their shield systems became standard throughout the galaxy. General Henry Ross retired to write a history of the Horizon Protocol, ensuring future generations would understand why sometimes the path to peace required preparing for war. Dr. Bray. E. Greg Murphy established a galactic historical archive that preserved the true records of how civilizations rose and fell. The archive became required learning for all council species, a reminder of what happened when fear and pride replaced wisdom and compassion. 5 years after the war ended, Admiral Connor Blake stood at a memorial built near the lunar battlefield. The monument listed every being who had died in the conflict, human and alien alike. It was a small number compared to what could have been, but every name represented a life lost and a family left behind. A young girl approached him. She was perhaps 8 years old, daughter of one of the lunar colony workers. "Sir, why did the aliens attack us if we just wanted to be friends?" Connor knelt down to her level. Because they were afraid. They had been powerful for so long that they forgot how to see potential instead of threat. They looked at humanity and saw danger. They did not see what we could build together. But you showed them? We showed them that being strong does not mean being cruel, that winning does not require destroying your enemy, that the greatest power is choosing mercy when you have the ability to take revenge. The girl looked up at the stars visible through the transparent dome. Grandpa says you changed the galaxy. Connor smiled. We did not change it alone. We helped it change itself. We gave it a chance to be something better. He stood and looked up as well. The stars were still there, still distant, still full of mystery. But now they were connected by streams of light from the Starforge gates. Ships from 100 species traveled freely between worlds, trading goods and ideas, building relationships that would have been impossible under the old order. Humanity had prepared for war for 80 years. They had built weapons and ships and developed technology that shocked the galaxy. But their greatest achievement was not the technology. It was the wisdom to use that technology not for conquest, but for connection. Not for domination, but for partnership. The aliens had declared war after watching humanity for 6,000 years, convinced that humans would destroy the galactic order. They were right. Humanity did destroy that order. But what replaced it was better. A galaxy where strength and compassion could exist together, where different species could work as equals, where the future was built on cooperation instead of fear. Connor looked at the memorial one last time, then at the young girl beside him. "Come on," he said gently. "Let me show you the observation deck. On a clear day like this, you can see ships from 30 different species passing through the local Starforge gate, each one carrying people who are building the future we fought for." They walked together toward the dome's central tower, leaving the memorial behind but carrying its lesson forward. The war was over. The galaxy had changed, and humanity had proven that the greatest strength was not the power to destroy, but the wisdom to build something better. The stars shone brighter now, connected by light and purpose, no longer distant and threatening, but close and full of promise. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy. They had helped it learn to reach for something greater than any single species could achieve alone, and that was worth fighting for. "Then let us show them what humanity has become," Jake said quietly. Far across the solar system, the Zalthurian armada prepared for what their leaders promised would be humanity's final day. Supreme Admiral Tharzek, who had replaced the disgraced Zalthar, studied the reports of the first battle with contempt. "They won through trickery," he told his officers. "This time, we come with overwhelming force. This time, there will be no hiding. This time, we end this threat to galactic order forever." His officers agreed. None of them mentioned the videos they had seen of human technology. None of them talked about the species leaving their coalition. None of them admitted their fear. The fleet entered FTL, heading toward Earth and a battle that would reshape the galaxy. In the asteroid belt, Lisa Grant guided her damaged fighter back to the Defiance hangar. Her hands were shaking, not from fear, but from adrenaline. They had done it. They had won. She thought about the alien crews in the disabled ships, scared, confused, realizing that everything they believed about humanity was wrong. Tomorrow they would be prisoners, but they would be alive, treated well, eventually sent home to tell the story of the battle they lost to an enemy who could have killed them but chose mercy instead. That was the real victory, not the tactical success, not the demonstration of human technology, but the message it sent. Humanity was strong, but humanity was also wise enough not to abuse that strength. That was the lesson the galaxy needed to learn, and it was just the beginning. Lisa stood beside him. "We will." 5 days later, sensors detected the Zalthurian fleet entering the Sol system. 1,200 warships emerged from FTL near Jupiter, their weapons charged, their shields active, ready to end humanity's expansion forever. They had no idea what was waiting for them. Easy victory. Instead, they would learn the most important lesson humanity could teach them. Never mistake patience for weakness. Never assume silence means surrender. And never, ever threaten the future of those who have been preparing for 6,000 years to defend it. Connor looked up at the stars and smiled. The war had already begun, and the aliens just did not know it yet.